Hi, guys. We're here at the Daily Caller with a Luke Rosiak article. You're fired. Trump fired. Suspends 200 for misconduct. It's about time that he started in on the VA. 548 Department of Veterans Affairs employees have been terminated since President Donald Trump took office, indicating that his campaign pledge to clean up probably the most incompetently run agency in the United States by relentlessly putting his TV catchphrase, "You're fired," into action was more than just empty rhetoric. Another 200 VA workers were suspended and 33 demoted, according to data newly published by the department as part of VA Secretary David Shulkin's commitment to greater transparency. Those disciplined included 22 senior leaders, more than 70 nurses, 14 police officers, and 25 physicians. Also disciplined were a program analyst dealing with Government Accountability Office, which audits the department, a public affairs specialist, a chief of police, and a chief of surgery. Keeping aides and food service workers, lower-level jobs in which the department has employed felons and convicted sex offenders, were also fired. Well, some felons need jobs to support themselves too. But I have a feeling that they mean, illegal alien felons here or something. I don't know. But just a thought. Scores of veterans have died waiting for care while VA bureaucrats falsified data to procure monetary bonuses, but fixes have been slow to come by, largely because the union that represents VA employees has used its political muscle with Democrats to emphasize job security for government employees. In other words, government entitlement. Former President Barack Obama originally appointed Shulkin as a VA undersecretary. By the end of the Obama administration, however, Shulkin had grown increasingly frustrated with the American Federation of Government Employees Union and other groups defending bad employees' supposed right to a government check even when they hurt veterans. Yep, liberal entitlements there. Spreads all the way up into government. Just last week, we were forced to take back an employee after they were convicted no more than 3 times for DWI, driving while intoxicated, and had served a 60-day jail sentence. Our accountability processes are clearly broken, Shulkin said at the White House. In addition to reluctance by managers to vigorously pursue firings, the overturning of firings after the fact by the Merit System Protection Board, MSPB, often with little public knowledge, has been a long-standing problem. Well, this is not the only place that idea has been a problem. The Portland Police Department, which is the only police department I have much experience with, they have had that problem for decades. They would fire an officer for gross negligence, misconduct, even shooting people, unarmed, innocent people, and the police union would go and get them their job back, take them back. So the AFSCME, unions across the board. Apparently the government's unions just the same. Maybe we need to do something about the power these unions have over employees being fired for rightful and just causes. The published data predates those new powers and does not note which disciplinary actions were later overturned. Okay, one record shows a senior leader, in quotes, being removed January 20th, while another record shows a quoted senior leader being demoted April 21st. Those appear to be the same person. Disgraced Puerto Rico VA Director Dwayne Hamlin, who returned to work in a lesser job after he appealed to the MSPB. I find that interesting because, who was it, Miss Eulin Cruz, that was ragging on Trump, saying, you're killing us all because of your incompetency, blah, 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 blah. Then come to find out that they were that all the provisions that were being sent for the people were stacking up at the docks because she couldn't run her country and get her trucking people and everything to get the stuff off the dock so they can get more. That it wasn't Trump's incompetence, it was hers. Yeah, Puerto Rico apparently has problems in a lot of its agencies. This is number 2. It goes on here to say former Obama Secretary of Veterans Affairs Bob McDonnell seemed to have so little grasp on firing employees that in August 2016, he said that he'd fired 140,000 employees, a figure that made little sense since that would clearly be half the workforce. He said, "You can't fire your way to excellence," and blamed negative news articles for a morose culture rather than the individuals perpetrating the misconduct described in those articles. Well, he's right. You can't fire your way to excellence, but you can sure hire your way to excellence by hiring excellent people that actually do their job and getting rid of the dead weight entitlement liberals that are clogging up your system. Simple. It goes on. Though high-level hospital officials were affected, according to the data covering the first 6 months of the Trump administration, relatively few disciplinary actions occurred in the central office where Washington's bureaucrats work. Those employ fewer people than the hospitals, but repeated scandals have also shown such employees looking out for one another to preserve each other's jobs. Oh boy, just like Congress. There were 5 firings in the Veterans Health Administration Central Office, including 1 senior leader. There were also 2 in the Office of General Counsel and 1 in the Office of Congressional and Legislative Affairs. That's the best news that I've seen so far. The data does not include employees' names and does not show whether employees were on new employee probationary status. Employees can be fired much more easily during their first year. During the Obama administration, McDonald lamented that in the private sector, you cut a deal with the employee and you're able to buy them out, but you can't do that in government. No, you bribe them is what you do. They just bribe, same thing in Washington. Yet VA repeatedly made 5- and 6-figure payments to bad employees to get them to quit after they threatened to gum up the works by appealing disciplinary actions. The department even allowed Hamlin to offer a low-level employee $300,000 to quit after she refused to help management retaliate against a whistleblower who exposed Hamlin's arrest. The agency paid more than $500 million in settlements to employees under McDonald, which had the effect of encouraging bad employees to relentlessly appeal and make unsupported charges of discrimination when they were targeted for discipline in an often successful attempt to convert punishment into reward. Well, that's about as liberal as you can get. Sorry. Shulkin said he will look to settle with employees only when they clearly have been wronged, and not as a matter of ordinary business. That's the way it should be, isn't it? Really? And these unions, they should be fighting for people who are treated unfairly at work, but they shouldn't be backing people who've done wrong and hurt other people with their actions. That's just my opinion. I just thought you might be interested in this article. Y'all have a nice day.